Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Brothers of Discussion podcast back at it again with episode number 13.
Lucky.
Tonight,
13.
Tonight we are going to cover the first ever Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, which had not one, not two, but three Hell in a Cell matches on that card. It's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Also, we're going to do a little thing different because we like sports. We're going to talk about our expectations for our favorite NFL teams in this offseason and this new season coming. But we might top it all off with What's Your Frantasy? Where our boy Fran will fantasy book the opening and the main event matches of a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view.
And I want to...
Give it to me now.
All right.
Let's get this.
Real quick, just to recap the opening intro. Great job, John. How many Hell in a Cell matches?
There was 3. Trace.
All right. We're going to need this. So we're talking about 3 Hell in a Cell matches in 2009, right?
Yep.
Right. The PG era?
PG.
Yeah, the start was at the start.
PG era, right? Yeah, about the start of it?
Around
Cool.
that time.
Cool. That sounds exciting. So the landscape back then, and what's cool about this pay-per-view as we go through it is the roster. I think that's what, as I watched this pay-per-view, coming out of it, I think that was my biggest takeaway is the roster they had was fucking stacked.
I mean, that's...
Yeah, there was
on
not...
our last episode of the Money in the Bank, it was such a stacked roster. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
How much talent was actually there at that time.
Yeah, but to be fair, where else was there to go in 2009 other than TNA, really? I mean, that's it. And the Indies, which wasn't much. But, you know, the landscape in 2009, they were very much in the split brand.
Yes.
And 2 championships. Before we even get into the pay-per-view, where do you guys stand on that? Are you a fan of the split brand and having multiple world champions?
Yes, I'm in favor of having a champion for each roster. That, you know, like as we speak right now, like I like that Gunther is the Raw champion. So, you know what I mean? And then the SmackDown champion is Cody.
Cena.
Or Cena now, my bad. Let's see, look at that. Cody's about to win it. That's why I'm like... But anyway.
Heel Cody's about to win.
But yeah, I like that. I like that split.
I don't.
The unified, I don't know. I just feel
I like that there's a mid-card championship for each roster, but I think there needs to be one sole world champion.
Okay.
That way there is crossover available, so that gives the champion more challengers, more different challengers.
I can see that angle.
The mid-card championship exclusive to each brand. I do like that. The tag team championships, there needs to be just one tag team championship. There's not enough tag teams.
Okay,
the roster,
I agree
the roster
with that.
is too thin right now to have 2 separate tag team champions. I love that they did female mid-card championships.
Yeah.
But also one heavyweight world champion for females.
Okay.
The 2 mid-cards. And they could probably even do away with the women's tag team champions because them fuckers are cursed.
I feel like you should either have one brand with one world title, one tag team championship, one mid-card, all of that, or have 2 completely separate brands that just
don't cross over
at all. That's it. Especially during this time when you are the fucking market. Like that was, I think, in my opinion, what kind of... I wasn't watching back then. Okay, in 2009, I wasn't watching.
Sporadically,
I wasn't. So when I watch this pay-per-view, from a fan now, and from watching when I was a kid to 2000, I don't know, whatever fucking year it was that WrestleMania 26 was. I can't do the math right in my head right now because I've been drinking. But what I will say is that brand split doesn't work, in my opinion, if you can't keep them separated.
True.
If they cross over and shit,
right?
What does it fucking... It takes away from the championships, in my opinion. It takes away from the brand split as a whole. What does it matter what title is on what brand if Sami Zayn's on SmackDown and he can challenge for the World Championship on Raw.
True.
Right now. Like, I just
Exactly.
feel like, and
That's a
like,
good
that's
point.
the one thing that I think WWE has never done right. And even with Vince not even at the helm now, like, Hunter can do that.
So
In theory,
the whole-
you could do a SmackDown's their own thing. Raw is their own thing. And they don't cross paths ever.
Yeah.
And the only time it
Well,
happens once a year is when
they-
they do that draft.
they
Not
did-
even a pay-per-view.
they
Like,
Or
did
Survivor
try that.
Series.
which is dumb. Like,
They did
or
try
Survivor
that,
Series,
though,
Raw versus
once.
SmackDown.
and again, okay, so here we go. If I'm glad we're going into this before that. If they're going to do that still, include NXT. Because when they did that, that's when it was the best.
And Night of Champions, where it's a fucking the champion versus champion. Just do that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But even like this past Night of Champions, they just did. There was
more fucking
There was more
title
not-
matches on SmackDown
yeah,
before
I was just
Night of
going to say
Champions
there was
than
more
on
non
Night of Champions.
Yeah, but and that's
Yeah,
not
then
that's
why
not
name
new.
it that?
That's
Exactly.
not
Yeah.
new. That's not new. Because they had a Night of Champions years ago when Vince was booking, when Curtis Axel was the Intercontinental Champion, and he wrestled CM Punk in a non-title match on Night of Champions, and he lost
Wow.
and didn't lose his title. It's fucking stupid. It doesn't.
Well, it was a
Makes
non-title
sense,
match.
right.
It's yeah, but on Night of Champions,
Right.
it's so dumb. It's
It didn't say
weird.
Night- it's not called Night of Championship Defenses.
That's true. Okay, and a champion wrestled, so
Yeah.
I stand corrected.
Okay.
But no, it's silly. My opinion, brand splits don't work if you don't keep them separated. They could work the roster now and have the brand split. Make it work. They could do it. They could do it.
They could,
but
but they don't.
They just don't. They don't.
They just see what's working at the time. Let's put this person over here. Let's
Yeah.
put this person over there.
So
And that's how it goes nowadays. Like,
So now we're in.
Whatever.
This is October 4th, 2009. Okay, it's a sellout. There's 16,000 people in Newark, New Jersey. Okay, to see this. When you have two world champions, you have to open with one
Yeah, you have to, and you have to
and
close.
close with the other.
Yeah.
Right. That is not what happens. Okay. The World Heavyweight Championship opens, and the WWE Championship somewhere in the middle. Fucking weird. Fucking weird.
yeah.
But you got to agree that sometimes rivalries and storylines
take premise. I get it.
They, outrank
I get it.
championships.
True.
But is
What
it?
people are interested in.
You're right.
At the,
I get that. But this is during the time where, and again, this is a guy who wasn't watching wrestling, but as I start watching back and watching some of this, it seems to me this is still very much the time where Triple H is. I don't know if he's booking himself, but it seems like. I mean, he's in the main event here.
Yeah.
Does it deserve to be? Is that feud more important than the world titles? And I'll say this: the world title feuds aren't very intriguing right now during this time.
Yeah, at this time.
But what does that one say about the titles, and what does it say about your champions when you don't put them in the main event?
I think also
Well,
at this time, it was a time where
Yeah.
there was a lot of flip-flopping the titles. There's title
Oh,
changes.
great
that
point,
happen
dude.
very,
Good point.
very, very frequently.
Valid point.
So the validity of the title at that time wasn't forefront. It was your star power.
Yeah.
And Triple H has always had that star power. So to put him
And
in the
Shawn
main
Michaels,
event,
yeah.
And Shawn Michaels,
Yeah.
and then you had the young Legacy. Like, I thought Legacy was an amazing faction.
I agree.
And
You have Cody now, who's the world
they
champ,
were
so-
it's
rising and
unfortunate that
rising.
Legacy
Like,
turned out the way it did because if the original Legacy
Yeah.
with Alpha Jr.
Yeah, that was
Manu.
cool. Yeah, that was really cool.
Okay.
What could have
See,
been?
It could have been
Yeah.
something fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Alpha Jr. is dare I say friend of ours, an acquaintance. We see him, he knows who we are. We have a nice time when we see him. Always good conversation. But just what if? Because that guy, fucking talented, always has been. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So we get into the actual pay-per-view. The dark match was Matt Hardy pinning Mike Knox with a twist of fate in 6 minutes.
Are you kidding me? Mike Knox lost?
Yeah, Can you believe that?
Fucking A.
Hey, at least Matt Hardy got on the card. That's cool.
Crazy world we live in.
But the opening bout is Undertaker and CM Punk. And right off the bat, I'm going to start with a CM Punk. Kind of like, I don't know about if it's a diatribe is the right word, but he's right about a lot of his gripes about when he was the champion. I mean,
100%.
First of all, he's wrestling Undertaker, which is cool. And, like, that says a lot about what they think about you, but you're in the opening match.
But if you're not in the main event, you want to be in the opening match.
True, but his gripe was like, I was the world champion, I was never in the main events. And that was what stuck out to me the most, I think, about this pay-per-view, is that's his biggest gripe. And who's in the main event? Triple H and Shawn Michaels in a tag match with no titles or anything on the line. It's a really weird...
Yeah, and especially to be in there with The Undertaker. That should
and
have been...
And
I mean, that...
Undertaker in
right.
2000, Undertaker 2009, he doesn't give a fuck.
Also,
he doesn't care if he's in the opening match.
Right.
Undertaker in 1999,
also
maybe 95, he'd probably care.
Right.
Also,
So, I can see the
also,
argument.
This match
It's a very good
is
point.
better than the main event.
I agree. I think this was one of the best matches on the card.
Yes.
I think it was the best match.
And I think it had probably one of the better storylines going in. 100%. So I think out of this whole pay-per-view, that is what stood out the most, is as whiny of a bitch as CM Punk is, when he griped about when he was the world champ 2 separate times before his run with the real world title after he beat Cena, he was right. He was really right.
Yeah.
And this is a perfect example. When you are in the Hell in the Cell, which is a fucking match made for The Undertaker.
It's true.
Okay?
Yeah.
You're in the match with the fucking Undertaker as the world champ, and you are not in the main event. It's just, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. So, I just wanted to throw that out there. I'm going to get it out of the way now, because...
Well, most of the bitching and pissing and moaning, he's not wrong on.
He's not. It's just, I think, the way he comes off.
It's his approach.
He's very much like Bret Hart, where a lot of what Bret Hart says, he's not wrong, but he comes off as a salty, like a whiny little,
He's a little bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I will say, opening package with Punk and Taker was cool. Again, I can see why he was a secondary champ, or why he felt that way. The other thing I didn't like about this was the stupid multiple announce tables, where you had JR calling one show and the King calling another show.
Yeah.
King on Raw, Jerry. I mean, how many fucking announce tables, how many announcers do you need for a show? It gets very confusing bouncing back and forth.
You need 2 announce tables. You need the American and the
Spanish.
Yes.
Not the 2 American and Spanish.
Because one of them needs to be broken.
And it's going to be the Spanish. Exactly.
I don't know. Lately,
and you know what they should do with the Spanish announce table?
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm from Allentown, Pennsylvania, where we have the highest population of Puerto Rican and Dominicans that you can think of.
Yeah.
And they all had plastic on their furniture. They need to put plastic, like a plastic runner, over the Spanish announce table, just to make it authentic. Or maybe some fucking tiger statues next to it.
On a side
White
note,
tigers.
too, you ever notice how they pull? You ever notice how they pull the stuff off the announce table before they slam somebody through it?
Yep.
Why wouldn't you just keep all that shit there?
Sure.
Wouldn't you want to fuck them up? Like, if I was really trying to slam somebody through a table, I wouldn't be like, let me move the TVs and stuff out of the way so you don't get hurt.
And those
But that's
stupid
like-
little fucking...
Wouldn't you just be like, I'm going to fuck you up? Like,
You
it
ever
doesn't
notice,
make
dude,
sense.
like, they have those little fucking stick mics, and they push those out
They
the way
do, like,
all the time?
ooh, stick mic, get out of here.
Get that stick mic
Yeah,
out of
you
here.
wouldn't want that to hurt your back as I slam you through a fucking table.
Stupid.
It's weird.
I mean, the one thing I will say is the old monitors. Like, that shit would fucking cut right
That's
through.
my point. But if you're really
Like,
trying to...
that, you know, I get it.
That
No, I
suspends disbelief,
understand.
and you're like, let me get this TV out of here so I can slam you through it. No. Don't you want to make him hurt? But yeah. So, a couple things about the match. CM Punk does not get enough credit for his selling. He was really good during this time. I think he's always been really good, but this match really stood out to me with how good his selling was.
Yep, and how young he was. And
Dude, he looked so... everybody looks so young.
And
but
but no, he... Yeah,
the crowd was
the
hot
way
for
he
this match.
handled the match was great. Like, and to lose it to Taker, you know, I mean, I thought that was dope.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because Taker winning a heavyweight champion is always a great thing for wrestling.
Yeah, and I feel like if you're going to lose your world title to Undertaker in a Hell in the Cell, not a bad deal.
Right.
I don't think that's a bad way to lose your title.
And also to add to that is like Undertaker is somebody who has not held the title as much as you would think.
Yeah, how many times?
Like 7 reigns?
I know.
I think and his runs came late.
Yeah, I
Like,
think he had like
can you
7
name-
title reigns.
So he beat Hogan for the title for a week, really early on. He beat Sid at WrestleMania and lost it and didn't win it again for a long time. I think till he was the American Badass. And that's when he really started going on his runs.
So who did Punk lose his championships to in his career? Undertaker, The Rock.
And I think Jeff Hardy is the other one.
Yeah,
he lost
Jeff
to.
Hardy.
So, but
That's
they were
right.
both very young at that time.
Yeah.
Him and Jeff
Yes.
Hardy.
Yeah.
So okay, they're trying to put Jeff Hardy over. You lose to The Undertaker and The Rock.
Yeah.
You really don't have much to complain
No.
about.
No. But again, it's in the opening match of a Hell in the Cell, which is a pay-per-view and match designed around The Undertaker. And in the opening match.
designed around Undertaker and Shawn
not the main
Michaels
event.
feud.
Yeah.
So Shawn Michaels main events this pay per view.
Yeah.
He's just as
And they
synonymous
win.
to the Hell in a Cell as Undertaker is.
Yeah.
The only reason Undertaker is more geared towards Hell in a Cell than Shawn Michaels is because of the fucking Undertaker and Mankind shit.
Yeah. Well, no, I think the Undertaker.
I think it's more
here's the
than
thing:
that.
if
Yeah.
Undertaker and Shawn Michaels wouldn't have had their match in the Hell in the Cell before that, Mankind would have never been like, "How are we going to top this match?" Because if you
True.
watch the documentary, that's what he says. He's like, the only reason they
That's
had
fair.
the match is because they're like, "How are we going to top this match?"
And that's gotta be Kane.
Yeah. And he said Mick Foley was like, "Why don't you just climb up to the top and start up on the top of the cage?" And that's what they did, you know? But a couple things, too. Like, Undertaker's apron leg drop, dude, that is fucking nasty.
It always has.
It
been.
makes sense why he got hip replacement and his back is fucked up because it looks like it sucks. But it always looked so
Yeah.
I mean,
fucking nasty, bro.
Really though, honestly, is Undertaker the best big man ever?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yes.
we had this.
We have
discussion,
had this, yes. I think it's him, Kane,
yes.
and Vader were, I think, our three
Yeah.
that we kind
I
of
know,
leaned
Yeah.
on.
and I disagreed with Vader. I
Yeah.
said Bam Bam over Vader.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I like Vader a lot.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you're
I got
gay.
much more of an appreciation. True, but that's fine. But yeah, here's the thing. Like, he does that apron leg drop. And I don't know if you guys know this, but the apron is the hardest part of the
That's
ring.
what I've been told.
Have you heard that too?
I've heard that.
Yeah.
Well, that's a very bad idea to take leg drops there.
Leg
but
drops
he's doing them.
there, and yeah, no.
Yeah, and again, we're one match in. It's a Hell in the Cell, which I don't mind as the opening match, but no blood. Plenty of opportunities.
Well, that was also at the point in time where blood was like shunned,
Right.
Like super
Yeah.
shunned.
So why have a Hell in the Cell match if you can't have blood? They're synonymous. It's called Hell in a Cell. It's
Well,
synonymous
at
with
that,
blood.
At that point in time, they saved blood for WrestleMania. They saved blood.
They
for
didn't do it at all.
SummerSlam.
It was just, why not do it? It's like having a first blood match in PG. You're not going to show it. Like it's just it's weird. Don't
First
do
blood
it.
match is the stupidest fucking thing in the
I
world.
agree.
Yeah,
Because
it
you
is.
could literally make somebody bleed so easily.
You could.
I fucking bled 3 times today.
Well, that,
and I didn't do anything physical.
Well, the first blood match they did, the first one they did with Kane and Stone Cold lost, but
Yeah.
really early in the match he was bleeding on like his back or arm, and they just had to pretend like it didn't
do you
count.
know if they did first blood matches with women once a month, somebody would
Would
lose
lose
immediately.
They might lose when they walk out.
They lost
would-
before their entrance.
They would,
game even
they would
hit.
ring the bell and then ring the bell. Ding ding ding, ding ding ding. All right, fuck. Damn, that's terrible. That's really really funny. God. All right, so I wanted to point something out too. So this pay-per-view started. The first person to come out through the entrance was who? You know? You remember?
Oh fuck! I watched this 2 weeks ago.
Well, no. What wrestler was it? Because the opening match was CM Punk and Taker. Was it Taker or was it Punk?
It was Punk.
Right.
Punk,
so the
yep.
champion came out first. Okay?
He should never. The champion should never come out first.
Right. Right. It's stupid. So again,
So,
another
actually,
point to his argument.
Let me change what I just said. The champion should come out first sometimes.
Always.
No.
In this case, I think it would have helped. Having Taker in the ring first and Punk coming
No,
out,
that-
maybe getting
that
in his
would've been
face,
better. But,
and then
like-
losing, it might have
like,
made
let's
him
just say-
losing mean more.
Let's look at today's
Yeah, that's
let's look
a
at
good
today's
point.
product. Okay? Gunter versus Jey Uso, for instance. The champion got to come out. Gunther's the champ. He's got to come out first.
No.
Yes, because the pop for Jey Uso and the energy, you want it to continue for the start of the match. Because he
Or
comes,
the
he comes.
anticipation of
Look,
him
if Jey
coming
Uso
in.
comes
I
out
could
first
see
and
that.
everybody's pumped up, and then Gunther comes out and it dies down, and then they have to get repumped. It's different. It's all psychology, bro.
I get it. It's the Hogan thing, because Hogan always came out last too.
Hogan's
I just rewatched
Hogan's
the.
a fucking racist bald
I just
ass.
rewatched the main event of WrestleMania 5 with him and Macho Man. Really good. But
You ever notice?
Mach came out first.
I've said some really racist shit in my life. To be 100% honest with you,
We get it.
nobody hates me.
Right.
So that's how you know how big of a piece of shit Hogan is.
Yeah. True. But the whole reason I bring up the champ came out first is because here we are again. The very next match. It is Dolph Ziggler and John Morrison. And Morrison is the champ, and he comes out first.
So, two extremely talented people.
Yeah.
Definitely. For sure.
John Morrison, I think, kind of gets left behind. When you think about really good mid-card guys,
Yeah.
Morrison really does get forgotten.
Now, his run in Lucha Underground, he was the top guy there for years.
Johnny
Johnny
Mundo.
Mundo.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Raimundo.
That's the only...
I don't know if you've seen him on Ring of Honor. He is great. His gimmick is fantastic.
I do.
He still goes,
I've always
yep.
liked more. I liked Eminem. I
Yeah.
liked the tag team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did.
Yep.
I enjoyed it.
With Melina.
I actually think Joey Mercury was really fucking good too. But so what I was saying was he's a forgotten guy, and now that Ziggler is Nick Nemeth,
Yeah.
and he's in TNA, I think that people always gravitated towards him, liked him a little bit. When he had that NXT run as NXT champion right before they released him and he went to TNA,
Yeah.
that's when people started appreciating him.
Yeah.
Now he's in TNA and everybody's like, man, this fucking guy was
He was their
great.
world champ
Where-
for a
where
while.
is he?
Right.
Come on, he had
Yeah.
dope matches.
Well, he had a long.
Why is he gone?
Exactly. He had
That's
a
what
long
WWE
run.
fans think.
Yeah, he had a long run, and I remember, like always, I was like, oh, this guy, he reminds me of Mr. Ass. But like
He's a hybrid. He's a hybrid.
His longevity though, and like how like Mr. Aston couldn't be by himself for for a long time, but the longevity,
Ziggler
and
is
his wrestling style, and
correct me if I'm wrong. Ziggler is a mixture of Mr. Ass and Shawn Michaels.
And I think a little bit of Mr. Perfect. I think his selling and it puts him up there.
I could see that, but
The way he sells, he sold like perfect.
Oh,
I think it's perfect.
He
And
was-
Ziggler,
he was
as far as WWE,
all
WF
around
guys,
good wrestler.
he best sellers
Sellers.
ever.
ever they're up there for sure.
Them and Bret Hart, he's up there too.
Bret Hart could fucking sell.
For anybody,
Yeah.
didn't matter if you were 1, 2, 3 Kid or Yoko, he'd make you look like $1 million
He
bucks.
did. Or if you're what's the fucking guy? The forgotten match. The guy that they were like, oh, this is gonna be the next dude. I
Tom
can't
McGee.
remember. McGee.
Tom McGee.
He made that guy look like a fucking $1 million, and that guy was a fucking $2 bill at best.
So here's my take on Dolph Ziggler, and I think this is pretty straightforward, and I don't know how you guys aren't going to agree with me on this. It's his fucking name.
true.
That's what killed him.
Yeah.
Dolph Ziggler is a stupid, dumb fucking name. Nick Nemeth, his real name, so much better.
Yeah, that's true.
Why not just go with Nick Nemeth? Here's the other thing.
Well, I could see
he's a collegiate wrestler. He's a decorated collegiate wrestler named Nick Nemeth. I don't know. Maybe just go with Nick Nemeth. It's the whole Vince thing where he has to own your name, and
You know what Dolph Ziggler? Why they named
Well,
him,
Dolph
Because
has
fucking
to be.
Boogie Nights was popular.
Yeah, I
It was
had a feeling that's what it
Dolph
was.
Ziggler.
That's what I figured it
Dolph,
was.
I feel like was from Rocky. You
And
know,
that's
the
what I got
blonde-
into because he does
the
kind of look
blonde-
German.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, German.
All right, I get it.
And
But it
then-
wasn't working, and they've changed people's gimmicks before.
Yeah.
Just go with Nick Nemeth. He can come out and be like, "I'm not Dolph Ziggler. I'm Nick Nemeth. I'm going to kick your ass," and he can do that because he's really good.
Yeah,
and I just feel like his
get it,
name
but-
was the one thing that you can't be like. You can't put on a WrestleMania poster. That was the big thing back in the day. They used to say, Vince McMahon would say, "I can see you being on the WrestleMania poster. Can you see the name?" There's a WrestleMania poster, Hulk Hogan versus Ultimate Warrior. Can you see one of those names being Dolph Ziggler? No.
No.
Nick Nemeth? Maybe.
Unfortunately not. Nick Nemeth, yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see
Especially
it.
nowadays where people use their real name. But
Yeah.
Dolph Ziggler? No. No.
Well,
That's what hurt, in my
worked
opinion.
for so long.
But he was there to show the world.
He was. And his music was dope. His first iteration of his music was ass.
Yeah, it was.
It was fucking terrible.
Yes, it was.
It was really, really bad.
I agree.
But so we get a Divas match coming up next. And we get Mickey James pinning Alicia Fox with a DDT. It kind of was what it was. This is one of your 5-minute matches, and this is kind of here's a snapshot. Okay, your first match was 10 minutes with an Undertaker. That's because there was 5 minutes of fucking intro. All right, it's true.
Definitely.
The Dolph Ziggler and John Morrison match was almost 16 minutes. That's a pretty long match.
Because those are workers.
And he won with the Starship Pain. Cool fucking move, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
He had 3 different finishers. He had that. He had the running knee strike he did. I think he had a submission move. Like,
Yeah.
bro, Morrison was a beast. He still is. But the Divas matches back then, again, they were divas. And Mickey James could go, and so could Alicia Fox. But
Alicia Fox.
when you're given 5 minutes and you're giving bad storylines and a
So-
butterfly belt, it's
So I feel like if Alicia
Kinda fucking
Fox
tough.
was given 10 minutes, we'd speak a different tune about her. She could go in 5 minutes.
yeah, I know. That's
She
what I
had,
mean.
a,
Like,
she had a hell of a character
yeah,
as well.
multiple
I think
iterations. She's
So-
had multiple.
Mickey James is an underappreciated woman.
1,000%.
For sure.
1,000. I think she is one of the best women wrestlers in a while. Like,
No, she's
Probably top 5.
If I did top 5,
She's probably
women
my top
wrestlers,
5. I would agree.
Mickey James is in my top 5.
100%.
100%.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that because I think she slept on too, and I don't think she gets enough credit. She had a lot of good storylines, a ton of good matches.
And she's got a fucking donk.
Yeah,
As well.
that's valid. And she
So
has super
you're-
naked pictures
you're-
of her with her vag wide open. You
you're-
ever see him?
I have.
She's like, there's a picture. She's like,
She-
it's just vagina
she's
wide
out
open.
here. She's out here spreading like Hellman's on a fucking ham
Full
sandwich,
eagle.
brother.
Full eagle, baby. So we get the Divas match. It is what it is. But next we get Jericho versus Batista and Mysterio.
So
Second best match of the show, in my opinion. But
yes, but I do want to add this: that Jericho is actually a good fucking team.
fantastic. I'm glad. All right, Jericho. What has he done that sucked? He's so good. Any tag team he's put together, Jericho, Miz
Yep,
show was good
yep,
too. But the
yep.
Jericho thing really started the taking 2 guys that are main eventers and making them a team. And
So
That was them starting that.
The only thing that I
You
have
know?
not enjoyed that Jericho has done in his entire career was the tail end of the Jericho Appreciation Society.
okay,
Other than that, like
Yeah.
when it first started, I fucking loved it. I
Yeah.
loved the idea. I loved the learning tree.
yeah,
The
I love the
learning
fucking
tree.
the pain fucking maker. I love the
the
fucking,
Painmaker, yeah,
I love the whole
wizard.
The grand the
Yeah,
wizard.
the wizard.
The one with the list.
Le
Yeah.
Champion.
Yeah,
La
that
Champion.
was-
The
that's
fucking
where it
list.
used to come out.
Yeah,
Jericho
with
is
him and
really
Kevin
good at
Owens,
himself.
yeah.
But I'll tell you
million
what,
times.
It's just so amazing.
That's my point. You put him in any scenario, he makes it
Obviously.
work.
And his fucking band rocks the fuck out too.
Yeah,
Obviously, like the one that is obviously top 1A was that Y2J. Remember how they hyped it up for a year?
Yeah.
It was in a year,
Okay.
right? Like the countdown
look,
and
let's
shit.
go down a little bit of a rabbit
With
hole.
that-
Jericho's been out since the 90s.
I
What
thought
is your
that was-
favorite iteration of Jericho? You can go back to
There you go.
you can go back to
That's
Jericho in WCW, all the way through his crazy long WWE run. Hell, he did New Japan shit as the Painmaker and AEW.
My
what
favorite,
do you think?
Personally, my favorite iteration of Chris Jericho all time, who I've been a fan of his entire career.
Me too.
I fucking love him.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
We saw him at
But-
fucking Ag Hall against Eddie
We did.
Guerrero, dude.
Against Eddie Guerrero.
In
When we were like
2001.
fucking. When we were like
We
fucking.
were in high school.
Yeah.
That's
We were like
crazy.
14 years old.
It's
But
cool.
anyway, my favorite iteration of him was when he was in the Cruiserweight division in WCW,
I agree.
and he came out as the man of 1,001 holds.
I
And then he was calling out Goldberg. That was when he was at the fucking peak of his abilities.
agree.
But they did not get behind him. And that was the problem. But Jericho just was better than everyone then. Talking, wrestling, everything.
I
Dude.
agree with the wrestling part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember how much he talked.
And I'm glad you say that because I didn't either. I didn't watch
Because-
WCW.
Yeah.
I did.
And I started listening
I
to
did.
podcasts
Yeah.
and getting into it. Dude, I think he's right. His his comedic timing back then. He used to call like
Fucking
Rey
amazing.
Mysterio, Ron Mysterio Senior.
He would fuck
and
up
he would,
everybody's names
on purpose.
Like Santino,
Yeah,
right?
on purpose. And then
Yes.
he did his entrance the one time. I
Do you
think
remember
he was,
Ralphus?
Yeah, yes.
God damn
He
it.
had so much good shit going on.
He
Bro.
had a fat, fucking disgusting looking dude as his security with a belly shirt on.
Yeah.
His name was Ralphus.
It was great.
It was amazing. And he came out and he was mocking Goldberg with his entrance, and his security came out with him. They had belly shirts and big fucking beer bellies, and they were just sloppy fucking dudes.
So here we
It was
are.
amazing.
Talking about Jericho being a tag champ with Big Show, who again, they were probably like, what are we going to do with Jericho and Big Show? Let's put them in a tag team. And now here they are as champs with a good storyline, having a good fucking match. And again, you're in there with Mysterio, who, you know, I'm going to bring up some of my notes because, goddamn, fucking Mysterio in 2009.
We actually, Aaron and I spoke earlier.
Motherfucker.
We are going to do an episode that is dedicated to the Cruiserweight division of WCW.
Oh,
Just stay tuned.
Yeah.
And be ready for that one because I'm going to go in depth.
There's so much there.
Aaron is the notes guy. I'm off the top of the head guy.
Yeah.
For that episode,
let me tell you something.
Notes.
There is so much info I can throw at you about how influential the Cruiserweight division was in WCW from 95 until they shut down. How influential that division was and what they did for the wrestling business as a whole to this day.
Yeah.
Blow your fucking mind. But yeah.
After I go take a shit, I'll be a cruiserweight.
Yeah, there you go. But seriously, Mysterio, you can throw him around. He moves around you so much. And it was cool because he was the littlest guy there.
Yep.
And
that's what made him intriguing.
And what was cool about it, too, is I think it made Jericho look bigger.
It did.
Did it not? I felt like Jericho looked huge.
He was...
Yeah, he looked huge.
Because, and it's funny, though, that you say that. Because in that match, who else is in that match? Big Show
and Batista. Yeah.
But Jericho looked big.
He did.
Because of how small Mysterio looked.
And how big the other guys looked. He just looked like he fit in with them more than Mysterio. It was
really
weird.
It made you feel like, okay, this guy could be a bigger star.
Yeah.
Because he's...
And Jericho was a bigger star.
Yeah.
And had, even after this, I think his feud with Shawn Michaels was after this, which was a great feud, you know? Like,
do you guys remember the first time you ever seen Mysterio?
Yeah.
What was the first match you ever seen Mysterio in?
Versus fucking...
It was at my house that you saw it.
Psychosis.
Yes, at Gangster's Paradise, ECW.
ECW was my first...
and actually...
Mysterio?
Was that the 2 out of 3 falls match, or was that the...
2 out of 3,
was that the Falls Count Anywhere match?
No, it was 2 out of 3 falls.
All right.
Gangster's Paradise, ECW.
Is that where they went to they were on like the platform and they did the Hurricanrana on the concrete outside?
That was the other one.
That was, okay.
That was the other one.
That's the first match I ever saw with them.
Okay.
And I was like, what is this? And I went to Bud Carson and I bought two tapes because he was tape trading at that time.
Yes.
And I bought a hardcore tape of Mick Foley and Terry Funk in the death matches in Japan.
Yes.
And I bought
I remember watching that at your house.
And the Mexican one with Rey Mysterio, Psychosis, Super Calo, Juventud, and there was one other guy that they featured in it. And it was phenomenal. So it's still what I like to this day.
I'm
if you ask me what my favorite wrestling is, it's hardcore and lucha.
Francisco, correct me if I'm wrong. We may have been 10, 11 years old. And Pablo, a follower, a friend, basically family to me. This guy, I've known him forever. Brought me a VHS tape of ECW. And he said, have you heard of ECW? And I said, no. Watch this. And it was Gangster's Paradise. And I got to see Psychosis versus Rey Mysterio in a 2 out of 3 falls match. I got to see the Pitbulls versus fucking Raven Richards, who turned Richards out and ended up being Dreamer in a fucking dog collar match. It was just a fucking phenomenal thing. It was a culture shock for me.
I love ECW.
But that was
we'll be watching
that
something
was my
soon.
first memory.
Coming up.
That was my first memory of Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
I just remember him being like scrawny, small, and like that inspired me. Remember to do my moves back in the day when I was wrestling, like just like flipping and you know, I try to emulate what the hell.
If you think about
that's who I could relate to at that time because
He
You know,
was small.
and
He was
strong, yeah.
Hispanic.
this is a little
Well,
bit.
no,
of a-
I was.
No,
it-
but
it has
seriously
no-
though, for if I was growing up and I was a minority, and there was somebody who I respected in the ring and was the same ethnicity, say, he's Mexican, you're Puerto Rican. It's different. I get that. I understand that. I'm not saying I'm not saying it's all the same.
Yeah.
But of Hispanic descent, I think that would have motivated me more than watching, like, say you watch Hulk Hogan. I think Mysterio would motivate you more than
Oh,
Hulk
definitely.
Hogan.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
like
For
I
me-
knew
for
I
me,
was
I'm
never.
I'm a
gonna
white
be as
dude with
big.
red hair. Okay, Sheamus. When he first came out and was killing shit, I was like, yes,
I like
he's
you.
my fucking
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah, I hear
Like,
you.
you know
I
what I'm
know
saying?
you're right, but I'm just saying, yeah, like
He's like me. So I got on board.
I think the thing with Mysterio is he is your. If you were creating a babyface wrestler, he's your perfect one, because the perfect babyface takes bumps and makes their opponent look
Makes
like
him
a
look
beast.
good. Yeah.
And that is what he does. And then when it's time for him to come back, he looks spectacular. He's the quintessential babyface.
So-
that's why you can never turn him heel, by the way. There's
So-
nothing you can not like about
Current-
him. Like,
current-
even if they ever thought, like, let's turn him heel, you never could.
You can't.
You can't.
Yeah.
There's nothing
So
to not like about him.
current Rey Mysterio, I don't mind seeing his matches, but I love seeing what he's doing. It's not he's not making it about him.
No, he's putting other
What
guys
he-
over.
What he's doing is he's helping Dragon Lee.
he's
He's
sprinkling
helping
Mysterio dust.
He's
They used-
helping
they used to
fucking
call-
Rey
they-
Phoenix
yeah.
in WWE.
Yeah.
He's helping these other guys
Yeah.
elevate
Agreed.
just by
I agree.
affiliation with him.
I agree.
So I love to see that, because you don't see that too often with actual superstars trying to make this young talent look better and help them elevate themselves.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
doesn't
I mean,
happen all
The best description I've heard of Mysterio, and we'll move on to the next match after this, is Mysterio, in my opinion, and I 1,000% agree with this, he's not even in the conversation for one of the best luchadors of all time. He's in his own category. There's Lucha Libre Wrestling,
And there's Rey Mysterio.
and there's Rey Mysterio.
No, that's fair.
He's his own thing, better than anything you'll ever see, maybe ever. He's just his own thing.
He's his own entity.
He's his own thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
He is. He is Lucha, no doubt.
Yes. But he's also not.
better than the best. I don't know how else to say it. There's
Right.
nobody
Yeah, he put himself in his own
in his own category.
Yeah.
Very well put. That's
Yep.
what I was trying to say.
Yep.
And I don't think there's anybody else in
Yeah,
wrestling
no.
that you can
It's
say that
fair.
about.
It's fair.
Who else can you say that about?
It's a fair. It's a fair.
You can never say this is the best wrestler ever, and then there's this guy.
Right.
You can say, oh, so and so is the best lucha ever, but then there's also Rey Mysterio Jr.
The only person on Rey Mysterio's level, I wouldn't even say level, but you could kind of compare in a similar fashion, because he was very popular in America and Japan. I think Ultimo Dragon.
Yeah, for sure.
I think because he's
And Muda maybe.
Muda. Yes, Muda though. Muda is
He wasn't more lucha. He was more Japanese
he
style,
was
but
Japanese style, but
but-
like when you think about like lucha and
Yeah.
fucking.
Yeah.
I think Ultimo Dragon is another person who's in his own category.
But here's the thing. I'd say Ultimo Dragon, he's probably one of the best luchadors of all time. But
Yeah, no, it's fair.
then Rey Mysterio is Rey Mysterio. It's crazy. It's just there's nobody else like it, even in any sport.
One
I
A,
think
one
maybe,
B.
I think yeah, maybe. But I think
One A,
Tom
one
Brady
B.
might be the only other person in any sport of any kind where it's like there's the
Gretzky.
best quarterbacks of all time.
Gretzky.
But you have Ovechkin now, who has more goals than him. So there's now that
Yeah,
question.
but so-
it's like Tom Brady and nobody else.
I'm sorry.
It's
but,
Rey Mysterio
No,
and
but there's Tom
nobody
Brady
else.
and there's questionably Joe Montana.
He's won more than twice as many rings as him, and been to more than three times
Yeah,
as
yeah.
many
Not
Super
twice
Bowls.
as many rings.
Yeah, Joe Montana has 3. Brady has
Joe
7.
Montana has more than 3.
No, he has
doesn't
3.
No, just 3.
He has 3.
Really?
He has 3 and one been to 4,
Well,
right?
4. I'm sorry, 4.
Oh, he has
He
4.
has
Okay,
Yes,
4.
because
All right,
he
all right.
hasn't
been-
lost one. Yeah.
He has 4. Okay, he's been to 4 and won 4.
So
You're
that's
right.
the
Okay.
it's the
But
Brady,
either way, there
the
you go.
Brady Montana argument is the same as the Jordan LeBron argument.
Yeah, okay.
It's the same fucking
Yeah,
thing.
so there you go. Even more from my point where Mysterio's just, he's just Rey Mysterio. He's his own.
Yeah.
He always will be.
Yeah.
You know?
So, this is off topic. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
But there is a formula that I fucking agree with 100%. When you look at a fucking phenomenal sports athlete, okay? You look at, so there's a team sports thing. You look at amount of championships divided by how many teams. So if you look at that formula, Kobe is better than Jordan.
Yeah.
Jordan fucked his legacy up by going to the Wizards.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
It's
but that's
fair-
a whole
it's
subject.
reasonable.
for another
Anyway,
day.
let's go on.
Another
because-
topic for another
Jordan
discussion.
doesn't
But so we get that really good tag match. We get Mysterio, which never is bad, and him and Batista together were always. I always thought them two had good chemistry. But I liked it. I enjoyed it. But so the next match is what should be either the opening match or the main event: Randy Orton and John Cena in the Hell in the Cell. You know, what did you guys think of this match?
So, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't better than Jericho versus Mysterio and Batista.
Yeah,
I would say it's probably the third best match on the card. But the thing with Orton and Cena is, even though I don't like either one of them, really, technically, if I look at them in their whole career, I appreciate both of them. Appreciate what they've done, but I don't really like either one of them.
agreed.
Okay? But that rivalry is still one of the top 5 rivalries, I think, in WWE history.
This was fresh in
That's-
the rivalry too.
And that's where I'm getting at too. Like they like that rivalry was what made both of them.
They made each other.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Yes.
they
No, I'm with
piggybacked off each other, and they both skyrocketed after. Like honestly, like think about what other feuds have they been in. That's I mean, Cena and Punk, that was cool because it was there was a little
but
bit of hatred there.
Who is
but I
Cena's
don't
best
know.
rival?
It's got to be Randy though.
Who's Randy Orton's best rival?
Yeah,
It's got to be Cena.
I agree.
Right, because
So-
Randy.
So this is early on in that, but
Very
they
much
both,
so.
I think they both made each other.
Yeah,
I agree. And at
But still, for this
at that
event,
time.
At this event, it's the third best match.
I agree.
Yeah.
But it should have been the opening, or it should have been in the end. Yeah, it's the world. It's the WWE Championship.
So if I were to reconfigure this entire event,
Make this the opener.
Punk
Tag
and-
team in the middle,
Punk and
and Punk in
Undertaker.
the main event
Main
for
event.
sure.
yes,
for
no,
sure.
I'm with you.
Yeah,
And then the Cody and that
Yeah,
match
in the middle,
before.
in the middle.
Right before the main event.
Yep.
Yeah,
right
in the
before
middle.
the main event.
yeah.
I
So
agree.
you know what I noticed with this match? Randy was so fucking fluid, like so
Always
crisp.
is.
Back in 09.
He always
Like,
is. It's just
I know.
It's
but
just
like,
the shit he does. I don't like it.
yeah, I thought he looked really good here. I thought he was fluid. He looked so so crisp. Every move, no wasted movement. He had such a good move set, and like in this particular set when he was clean shaven, he looked like a fucking killer. He looked like a killer.
Randy Orton. So
Like
I'm
like
sorry.
Actual.
I gotta
Like a legit,
snake and
like a
that,
legit.
like, remember
So-
that? What the hell was his name?
Who?
The Viper.
The Viper.
Yeah,
That's
he
exactly
really.
what that reminded
So
me
To
you
of.
me,
guys-
and again, I didn't watch back then.
Right,
This is
right,
09
right.
Randy. I didn't see him before. I'm like, this is good.
I just
Randy.
want to put this out there.
Good Randy.
Yeah, it is.
Who's my least favorite AEW wrestler?
Adam Page.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's my least favorite WWE wrestler?
That would be Randy Orton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I understand the appeal for Randy Orton.
Yeah.
And I appreciate what he does, and it's smooth. I don't like him.
Yeah, I get it. It's all right.
There's
Other
a-
than the
yeah,
RKO,
there's
there's nothing about this guy that
That is appealing. I
is
get you.
appealing to me.
I get you.
There's nothing.
Yeah.
the 2-foot power slam.
That fucking power slam.
It's really, I like it. It's
Yeah,
nice and quick. It's a
literally,
snap
I've-
slam.
I've-
Gold Dust does it too.
I've
It's good.
stood in snow higher than the power slam that he does.
I think it's
Am,
fun.
Nah,
am I
but you-
supposed to be hurt from this?
Nah, but that Punk kick is serious.
Yeah,
yo.
and it's a good way to win the match.
That was the
Yeah.
only iteration of
was-
Orton I enjoyed.
Yeah, and he
was
used
when
it
he's
here.
kicking motherfuckers in the
Yo.
head, because he was vicious.
He used it here.
There's like
That
three
was
villains.
dope. That
There's
was
like
a
three
dope
villains
finish.
in the entire fucking history of my life that I ain't fucking with. It's fucking David Lopan from Big Trouble in Little China. Never fuck with that guy. No fucking way. It's Ivan Drago, and it's fucking 09 Orton with the punt kick. That's it.
Yeah. So here's the thing. A couple things I want to point out. One, I don't know if you noticed it, but Mike Chioda, the ref, he picked up something metal near Cena's head at one point in the match. And I don't know if it was like a blade or like if they were going to gig in the match and they had to bail. I don't know if you... Did you notice that?
I noticed that.
I was like, whoa.
I watched it first.
It fell out of either
100,
Cena's pants or Orton's trunks. I couldn't tell.
It fell out of Cena's wristband.
Is that what it was?
Yes.
Yeah, but I noticed something metal fell out. I'm like, wow,
somebody was going to blade. I don't know if it was Cena or if
I thought I saw that. And I was like,
because
wow, that's really crazy.
Those two actually trusted each other.
Yeah.
They
did not
trusted
cut
each other.
away.
No. They trusted each other enough that Orton would have trusted Cena to cut
to
him.
gig him. Yeah, I get it. Or he would have gigged himself because Cena has bladed before. I get it.
It's fair,
but it was just really crazy that I saw that.
I see Orton
And like
in this
the
match,
camera didn't cut away.
Yeah, they didn't edit it.
And they didn't take it off the network.
Yeah.
It's just wide open. The ref just, Cena's laying there like this, and it's right next to his head. And the ref just reaches down next to him on camera and puts it in his pocket, and they just keep going. I thought that was so fucking crazy. That was
Mike
really
Chioda
wild.
was the second best referee of all time.
He's good.
Second best.
Here's another hot take. This was the start, in my opinion, of the era of kicking out of everybody's finishers. Twice in a match.
So it pisses me off.
All the time.
It
All right?
fucking makes me so angry.
They've done it. They've done it a lot over time.
that's-
Okay, but lately, you got to hit somebody's finisher 2 or 3 times in a match to win. This is one of those moments where each of these guys hit their finisher on each other.
The only time that where you do more than one finisher to fucking end a match, that I'm okay with it is like, for instance, Cody will do the triple crossroads and then pin somebody and it's over.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
But again...
But if it's a fucking finisher.
Right.
Yeah.
It needs to end the fucking match. That's what it's called.
Yeah,
and again, I'm
about
going to make an
this
argument to
a
your
long
point
time.
where when Cody does that, it's because he did it once before and it didn't work. So he has to do, all right, I'll do 3 of them this time.
I'll do 3 of them.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid. It pisses me off. And it can work.
It makes me so angry.
It does. Because they can still work.
I want to punch something right now.
Me too, because it makes me
really
mad.
do.
Because here's my argument.
Yep, we're from the old school.
Here's
brother.
the thing. End of days. Baron Corbin's finisher. Nobody kicked out.
One person.
Exactly. It took how long? And that finisher, when you saw it, oh, it's over.
You protect that finisher.
Exactly. So it can
You
work.
need to protect your fucking
And
finisher.
nobody does it anymore. It just... But this, in my opinion, was the start of it. Because I never saw it, really, until I really got back into wrestling. And it seems like... Because I saw it a lot during this pay-per-view. But this match in particular...
No.
They both gave each other finishers, both kicked out, both put... It was a lot.
But you also got to look at it in this frame of mind. Is Orton and Cena at that time... They were the end-all, be-all. Like, those were the top fucking guys.
Now, here's another thing. The follow-up to this, they already had their bragging rights match where Cena was tied up.
Stupid fucking pay-per-view, by the way.
Dumb, but that match was really good. They were really, really going at each other in that match. Now, here's the thing. This Hell in the Cell, this feud called for the Hell in the Cell. Like, it needed it, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because it was.
For sure.
So why isn't this in the main event or the opening match? Why is it in the middle of the card? To me, it's a wasted spot. And again,
because Shawn Michaels,
I know, and that's my point. Are still in the company,
are
wrestling.
gigantic
Our
fucking stars
are running
that
the
drew
show
more money
to this
than
day.
John Cena and Randy Orton at that point in time.
I get it. And in hindsight,
At that point in
I know,
time.
and I get it. And in hindsight, Cena and Orton became stars. But if you're trying to build stars, why don't you put them in the main event? It doesn't take anything away from Hunter and Shawn Michaels to wrestle in the mid,
you're right.
but it takes away from the other guys. I don't know. And again, we're here to nitpick. I don't know shit. I work at a supermarket, all right? I run that very well. I don't run a wrestling company, all right? I don't know dick about shit.
And listen,
But-
DX merch still sells.
It does.
So they
But
did a good fucking...
Can we agree on something here? Can we agree on something? There should have been fucking blood. In at least one or
for
if not
sure.
all
I
of these
thought-
matches.
Yeah, for sure. Especially in the Shawn Michaels. Like, I thought for sure that he was going to bleed in that match.
Right.
'Cause
That's
all
kind of
the
what he does.
bumps
Or
and-
Hunter.
Yeah.
Okay?
But,
and
yeah.
so, John can answer this when he comes back, but do you think these matches that we're talking about, the main event, this, I guess, co-main event, and then the eventual main event we talk about, could you have had those matches without the Hell in the Cell and had the same outcome? Because the Cell did not play any part,
any role
in any of these matches, really.
Undertaker and
other
Punk,
than the main event.
Undertaker and Punk, I think it played.
Punk used it because he took bumps into the cage.
So
and,
I think it did play a role in that match. The main event, it played a little bit.
It played a lot because it kept Hunter out for a lot of the time, but this match in particular.
This match in particular, no.
No.
But
it was just a good match inside of itself.
Right.
It wasn't a.
Can I just retouch on what we were saying? Why Shawn Michaels and Triple H were in the main event?
Yeah, good.
Because at that time in 2009, the casual fan knew who Shawn Michaels and Triple H were. They didn't really know Cena and Orton that much.
That's true. They weren't as big.
I get it, but placement for Triple H and Shawn Michaels doesn't hurt them. Placement for Punk and Cena, or for Punk and Orton does. If you're trying to make these guys the next guys, putting them in the main event, to me, makes them seem more important, and it doesn't hurt Shawn Michaels and Hunter to be in the middle of the card. They're already if they're the reason why the card's there. Thank you, sir. If they're the reason why they drew the card, it shouldn't matter where they are on the card.
No,
if you're trying to build the next generation.
But
and again, in hindsight, it doesn't fucking matter because Cena's the champ right now, and Orton is one of the top guys, and they literally just wrestled each other like 6 weeks ago.
They really did.
It doesn't really matter, But I just feel like at that point they could have did it. To me, it just shows how much Triple H and Shawn Michaels were still really trying to, and maybe it's just a fan on the outside looking in, but. So after this match, you get Drew McIntyre and R-Truth. Yeah.
Smoke break.
Yeah.
Laughed.
Drew McIntyre's old music
break.
Sucked ass, and not the good one. Like he had 3 different types of music.
Broken Dreams.
Great song.
Is so fucking dope. I listen to that song.
Good song.
Regularly.
Say goodbye. Yeah. It's so good. Yeah. Now is mine.
I still listen to
badass.
Nah, that is dope.
I'm not mad at it.
That grew on.
But his old music sucked, and R-Truth's entrance was, oh god, it was cringy. It was really bad because he wasn't rapping to the beat; he was trying to rap to himself on the song, so you could hear him over, like himself on the audio. It was bad. It was just
Yeah, that was when he was probably like starting.
They were trying to get McIntyre over. He was.
So,
that was the first iteration of him.
So we don't need to spend any time on this.
No.
Yeah, no.
It was the bathroom break. Go get a beer. Go get a hot dog while you're in the arena.
Next.
Let's move on.
It was.
That's what it was.
It was. You know what was not moving on, though? The next segment, it was a promo with Orton, Rhodes, and DiBiase. It was really good. All right? And it really made me wonder what could have been with DiBiase. Mm-hmm. Because he could talk. He had a good look.
He did have a good look.
He could work.
Yeah.
He was good in the ring. I just don't...
They just didn't know what to... I mean, Legacy, like I said, Legacy was good, but they could have did way more. He had way more, like,
when I first got into wrestling, they were just wrapping up Legacy. And I remember saying, like, who are these...
back into it.
Yeah. I was like, who are these 3 guys? I'm like, they're fucking great.
Yeah.
Eric really early on really liked Cody Rhodes. One of the first figures he ever got.
Was Cody
Rhodes.
Love dashing Cody Rhodes.
It was even before that.
I was a fan.
This was the figure was Cody used to have just trunks and boots, old school, no elbow pads, no knee
Black
pads,
trunks, yellow boots.
Yeah, it was very old school.
Yeah.
And I have a very old figure. It was either purple trunks or yellow trunks, but it was very early on. But yeah, he was a big fan of his back then, and I really thought this promo was good. It was really a good. We're gonna show. Like, I don't know. I just thought it was a very good promo. I was very surprised with how good it was.
Yeah, I think DiBiase quit too early in wrestling.
I don't think he quit.
He did.
I think that, unfortunately, I think he had the ego where he was like, I'm fucking Ted DiBiase's son.
Right. His dad
I'm affiliated
did the work.
with Randy Orton.
Okay.
And I think he got... This I'm an outsider looking in.
Opinion, yeah.
But I think he might have got too big for his britches.
Right.
and then they were just like, "Well, you're not that fucking good, bro. Take a walk."
I mean,
and then him and his dad went ahead and his brother cheated a bunch of people out of
Right.
money.
So now his brother's in jail. His dad is being investigated, and I believe he was in jail too. Yeah, I believe
he was in jail for a
Yeah.
little bit. I think
Yeah.
he's out now, but
Yeah.
he's probably still got some other shit being investigated.
So the tag team main event.
With that, but
It was fine.
It was fine.
It was fine.
Fine. It was passable.
Yeah. My biggest
Main
issue.
event? No.
My biggest issue, again, no blood. If you're gonna not do blood
There's
or
three.
save it, 3 Hell in a Cell matches with 0 blood, and this one had weapons
Yes, and it's called Hell.
in the cell.
You would think that there's
Hell
fire.
in a
There's
cell.
got to be fire or blood in Hell, right?
Nope.
If I go to Hell, there's either fire, blood, or anal rape. There was none of that going on in any of this.
Yeah.
well, thank God for the anal rape. That's all I got to say. That's my take. But
It was fucking stupid.
yeah, I mean, it. So what I thought of it was like the way they set it up, how Triple H got locked out and shit. I mean, that was pretty
Cool. Oh,
That-
cool.
that-
Him
that
taking the
part of
crossroads
it-
on the entrance.
That
dude,
part of it.
dude.
Was-
and I'll never
was
take
dope,
anything
like-
away. And,
Yeah.
and let me say this: like, I probably sound like a fucking Triple H and Shawn Michaels hater. Shawn Michaels is in my top 5 for sure.
He's
Triple
not in
H,
mine.
Triple H. The character I think was very forced, but his work you can't.
Yeah, you can't deny
dude.
that. Yeah.
He took an
True.
ass whooping. He gave
This is
ass
why-
whoopings.
This is why I love doing this with you guys.
Yeah.
Because top 5, Shawn Michaels ain't in my top 5.
I know we did our top 5s.
He's
today.
he's
I
your
know.
number 1. He's in your top 5.
He sure is.
Shawn Michaels would be lucky to hit my top 10. He'd be lucky. He might be on the outside looking in on my top 10.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
But it's everybody's opinion.
Right. Right.
But it's subjective. That's the
Yeah.
beautiful thing about it.
Right.
We all have our opinions.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we listen, but we don't judge.
Right.
True.
But again, I like the idea of making these young guys because I'll tell you what, Cody and DiBiase look good in this.
Yeah.
I think they came out of this
look
looking
strong.
good.
Yeah.
They didn't go over, but they got over in this
Oh,
match.
fuck yeah.
You know what I mean?
Fuck
so
yeah.
I think that was good. But again, looking at it from 1,000 feet above, like my old boss used to say, could this match have been in the middle and had the same impact?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Punk and Undertaker should have been main evented this.
Or Orton and Cena. I think it was good enough. And I think if
Orton and
it
Cena,
would have had some blood, and I think the ending, I think we didn't really touch on that, but I think the ending of the Orton and Cena match was good. It was different. Tying him up in the ropes, choking him out,
Yeah.
and then punting the fuck out of him, just pitting him like a beast.
So
it was
to
a
be
cool
honest-
finish.
To be honest,
I didn't see it coming.
Now that you say that, like that main event, the ending was fucking dope too. Except
Yeah.
Roach should have been bleeding after
Yeah.
a sledgehammer and,
Yes.
and a sweet chin music.
I didn't get there yet, but
at the
thank
same
you.
time.
You take a sledgehammer and sweet chin
You
music,
know,
no blood.
like-
Sledgehammer, you're either dead or bloody, right? It's fair.
Neither.
I'm just saying that
Thank
was
you,
a
Francisco.
dope ending, but
You know
Thank
what
you,
happened?
Francisco.
You know what happened that night? Him getting hit with a sledgehammer and sweet chin music. That's why he has the lisp today.
Yeah, you can thank them for it. He didn't bleed,
That's
but it
why
fucked
Cody
his jaw
Rhodes
up.
cannot defeat the letter S.
God damn. So,
His
yeah,
biggest rival.
because he took a sledgehammer and a super kick.
no
So-
wonder. Shit.
God damn it.
So overall, where are you at on this pay-per-view?
Are we gonna rank it like 1 to 10? And in our honest opinion, 1 to 10 ranking of this.
All right, we can rank it a 1 to 10. I'll give it a 5, right in the middle.
I'm going 6.
All right.
It's a little bit better than a 5.
And I will say I'm going 7.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Better than it. Like I said, if they would have switched the matches around, you know, as you guys talked about, it would have been amazing.
I think it could have been better.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
So I will give it
if
a
you
7
left
overall
everything the
matches,
exact same
so.
but changed the card order, I could go up to a 7.
I wouldn't because
But-
they're Hell in a Cell matches with no,
But-
no
well,
real
yeah,
violence.
that, yeah.
That's
But,
what
I mean,
pissed me
no,
off.
but you
yeah,
gotta understand the era.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. That's an excuse. You run the industry, WWE. If you're not going to have blood, don't have matches associated with blood. It's that easy. Like if you have a rule about we're not going to do chair shots anymore. Don't have chair matches. Like when you do
That's fair.
TLC
That's
matches.
fair.
Right? So if you're not going to have blood, don't have matches where you
But
typically have blood.
The target demographic at that time blood would not be good for that target demographic.
I get it. That's what kind of ticks me off about old WWE is because it was for kids then, and
It was for kids.
That's what I love about the alternative. Where people complain about AEW
I love it.
dynamic, I love that you have.
love
You want to
that
watch
it's there.
Yeah, you want to watch.
It's not-
You want to watch some hardcore
it's
shit.
not my
You want to watch
preference.
people drop some shit and say fuck every now and then. Watch AEW. You want to watch the
Everybody-
vanilla? You can watch WWE.
Anybody who's ever heard me
True.
speak
True.
understands that AEW is really not for me.
Right.
But I fucking love that it exists.
Yeah.
I love that
Competition's
it's there.
good, man.
And it's
You know?
it's competition and it's alternatives.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's different.
Yeah.
I always say, storyline, you go to WWE.
All right.
Wrestling, you go to AEW.
So here, we'll move on to the next topic after this question. Do you think Hell in the Cell matches need blood to work?
I don't think they need blood to work. Actually, let me rephrase this. Depending on the rivalry, if it's the blow off to end a rivalry, yes, I want some blood.
Right.
But if it's something that they put in the middle of a rivalry, not necessarily need blood. We might have a different match where it needs blood.
So that's you kind of put my point into perspective. There is that the Hell in the Cell is meant for a blow off. It's not meant for
No, I agree.
the middle match in our feud.
It should be a blow.
That's why these that's why these fucking. And
But when you have people like Undertaker and Mankind, okay,
yeah,
you can have the fucking buried alive.
Right.
You can have a casket match to be the fucking blow off.
Now,
And
here's-
Hell in a Cell could get you there.
all right. I'm glad you're bringing this up. This is a great fucking conversation we're having. The Hell in the Cell match that Taker and Mankind had, they had no story going into that.
None.
And they've had one of the best matches ever because of the violence. Not because of their wrestling. It's because of Mick Foley bleeding and almost dying twice.
Listen.
That's
I
what
don't
did it.
The violence was great,
That's what made it.
but Mick Foley's resilience is why
Yeah.
that match was
Well,
fucking
sure.
amazing. Because any other human being would have been put through what he was put through, they wouldn't get back up
No.
and come back into the ring.
Yeah.
Mick Foley is a different fucking breed.
I know.
This guy's he could take punishment more than fucking anyone.
I think that's my point. I think you
Yeah, the
sacrifice your
tolerance for pain is
Yeah,
And
but I think you sacrifice your product trying to target that demographic, like you're saying. I think maybe that's more of my argument. That in
So,
2009, from a business
That's what it
sense, I
was.
get it because you're trying to sell a red cage to kids and figures, and I get all that.
Yes.
But if you're gonna have 3 Hell in the Cell matches, you can have one with blood.
There's got to be at least a drop. So, but we just spoke about. It looked like the referee Kyoto picks
Yeah.
up some maybe
might-
there was supposed to be
Yeah.
blood, but there was
I think
a
there
fucking
might have been
fumble.
I think there might have been, but
Okay, so all in all, Aaron says 5.
yeah, I'm a 5.
Fran says 7. I say 6 out of 10.
Yeah,
Not a bad pay per view.
no.
Not bad.
for your first one.
No,
Yeah.
but I don't think the Hell in the Cell pay per view works. I said that
No.
last week when we did the
Hell in
Money
a
in the
Cell
Bank.
needs to be an attraction.
Yes, that makes sense. Bring it out when it makes sense.
For situations.
Yes.
Yes. A
Situational-
situational attraction.
Yep, blow off to a pay per view,
Yes.
or blow off to a
the
feud,
end of a feud.
or if it's a blood feud, like when Taker and Brock had their feud, it made
Yeah.
sense having a Hell in the Cell.
So before we go into our last segment, we say that we are all around wrestling, sports fans, creative people. All of us here have a favorite NFL team. Okay? So I want to say, let's have our little prediction of where our teams will end up at the end of this season. Francisco, nobody would be shocked that you're a San Francisco 49ers fan.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
I mean,
How about
shit.
that?
I mean,
So where do you see your team? Where do you think that at the end of the regular season their record will be?
Why don't you go ahead and
Okay.
fantasy book them?
Fantasy book the San Francisco 49ers.
this year I will say the 49ers will finish number 1 in the division.
Wow.
You're on track.
If there's a lot of ifs, You know what I mean? If McCaffrey stays healthy, I'm gonna just say that once.
Before we get into this,
I love this.
These predictions are if our entire team is healthy for the entire season.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I will.
You don't have to say any of those variables.
Okay.
If your team is healthy for the entire season,
Yep.
where do you expect them to be?
Yeah, I will say the 49ers had a down year, obviously, last year. A lot of people
injuries.
A lot of people fell
injuries.
apart and everything, but if everything, if they were all healthy and everything, they would have competed with the Eagles and the Washington
fair.
Commanders
That's
last
fair.
year. So, in my prediction this year, they will finish first in the division, slightly over the Rams. That's my
what's the
prediction.
record? What's regular season record?
So we're at, what are we at? 18 games right now.
17.
17.
Is it 17?
18 weeks, 17
18
games.
weeks. Yeah.
So I
17
will
games.
go. I will say 11-6, winning the division.
So,
That's what I will say.
I want each of us to say what we think each other's team is going to finish at. 11-6 is because that's your team. I can see you saying that.
Just because of the defense.
9-8. 9-8
Okay.
is what I see the 49ers at this year. That's just me personally.
No, it's all
I
good.
see them at 9-8 because I see that the Rams are a fucking problem. I see the Seahawks have improved,
are big time.
and I've seen how the Cardinals have improved as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very tough division.
It is.
And
Well,
9-8, and I don't see them getting in the playoffs. Personally,
okay. No,
that's
it's all good.
that's my opinion.
Here's the other thing. You're in the NFC. You got to play two
Every
other
year.
divisions and then one AFC division every year, right? Is that how it works? Or no, you play your division twice,
Yep.
and then you play another NFC
And
and,
you
then
got
an
the
AFC.
Rams
There you go.
and the Seahawks and the Cardinals.
Twice.
Who are
Yeah, but
all fucking tough teams.
Yeah, but I mean, the
It's
49ers strength of schedule this year is the best. It's like easy,
That's
easy.
true.
Breezy. That's what I'm saying.
I didn't put that.
That
in perspective.
that's
It's easier.
already
It's easier.
projected and stuff. So obviously,
Okay.
yeah,
No,
the
that's fair.
division
That's
stuff
fair.
is gonna be. That's why I say
That's
six
fair.
losses because
That's fair.
we're gonna get hit
Okay.
by.
So you saying that?
three?
You may have skewed me to 10-7, still just missing the playoffs.
Okay, all right.
What about the Skins?
So the Redskins, aka the Commanders,
No,
is my
no.
favorite team.
Side note: when they renamed them the Commanders, I made the vote to name them the Skins. Why not just call them the Skins? Most
Bro,
people call them that
I've
anyway.
I've said it
and
a
the
million
Skins was a
times.
great name. Just call. Then they're all inclusive, and then everybody wins, and they can stop pitching. We're just the Skins. Then everybody's inclusive.
You could still keep
know?
the name the Redskins. You change their logo to a Redskin potato.
I like
Could have
it.
kept it.
Boom. That's
Okay.
true. That's
But
even
anyway,
better.
they are the Commanders now.
All right, Commanders, yeah.
And I am moving on.
Right.
Okay.
So the Commanders.
I always love the Redskins. I'm a hail to the Redskins, baby.
I get you.
But
Hail to the Commanders,
we're
baby.
the Commanders, and that's what I'm going to go with. Okay.
All right. So where they
So
at?
last year they were 12-5,
Which is crazy.
which is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
I was so excited. I don't see them doing that well this year.
No.
Okay.
They have a tougher schedule.
I agree.
Dak Prescott is healthy. I don't care what you want to say, the fucking guy is good.
Yep.
Okay?
And we said off
The
camera, as long as
the
his
Giants-
offensive line can hold up, but it usually doesn't.
The Giants have improved. The Eagles are fucking the Eagles. They're tough.
Yeah.
So, I'm going with 10-7. 10-7, wild card spot in the playoffs. That is all depending on if they work out a deal with Terry McLaurin. If Terry McLaurin holds out and he doesn't play,
I don't see him holding out.
I don't see him holding out either. But I'm going
He's
to tell
not
you
that
right.
kinda
I'll tell you
dude.
right now. I've seen crazier shit happen.
Yeah.
Okay. If he holds out, they're not doing 10-7. They're fucking 8-9.
There's hungry teams out there, too.
Yes.
You'd be surprised, man, if they throw a good deal at Washington.
But I see 10-7 just making wild card playoffs, finishing second in the division, but just making it
Yeah,
into the playoffs.
there's 3 wild cards now.
Yes,
Correct.
but
I
at
think
10-7,
Washington-
I see them
Niners will
just
definitely
sneaking
make
in.
one.
I think Washington goes closer to the 12-5 mark than the 10-7 mark, in my opinion. I think they're that good of a
Have
team.
you
And I
looked
think
at
they've
their
only
schedule?
got... Doesn't matter, they got better. They got better.
Where other than one person on the offensive line and Deebo Samuel.
That's a pretty good upgrade for Jaden Daniels. That's really good.
So for Deebo,
you did mad good. Like, hey, we're gonna give you
we're gonna
give you one of the best free agent offensive linemen. Oh, and you can have
he wasn't
Deebo
a free
Samuel.
agent. They gave up a lot
You're
of shit to get Tunsil.
You're right. But
they gave up a lot of shit to get Tunsil.
But you get one of the best linemen.
Fucking nothing to get Deebo.
Exactly.
Nothing. Yeah, that was fucking.
So you added a lot to that.
But then
you
we
locked
also
down
added,
McLaurin.
I know you're not a fan of this guy, but they also picked up Greenlaw.
We did say that. That's right. Yeah.
Oh no, Kinlaw.
I'm sorry, Kinlaw. They just picked him up. In the draft, I feel very strongly about their draft picks.
Yeah.
This Trey Amos dude,
good, man.
everybody's reporting Trey Amos is a fucking NFL starter at cornerback.
Jaden Daniels is the future. He's a star.
JD5 is fucking phenomenal.
Star.
Okay?
I think you're underselling your team. I think they're better than a 10-7 team.
But, bro, do you understand what I've gone through?
I get it. I'm a Knicks fan. I understand.
Do you
I'm with
understand
you.
what I've gone through?
I get it.
Sophomore slump is a real thing.
I get it.
10-7 is hopeful for me because of the strength of schedule.
Yeah. He's different.
Yeah.
I think he's different.
He's different.
I think he's different.
But they lost last year to fucking Dallas, and who was their backup quarterback? They lost to them. So the defense, if the defense can fucking stop people, the offense is going to put up points. I ain't worried about that.
Right.
Defense need to stop people.
And maybe that's what they might need. But I feel like, I don't know. I like the Skins a lot. I really do. Or the Commanders.
Aaron, what do you think about Green Bay Packers this year?
I'm with you. 10-7 wild card. We have a tough division. We have a tough schedule. We play a lot of. I was looking at the schedule this year, and what sucks for us is we play a lot of Monday night games and then early Sunday games, and those are tough. When you play Monday night, you got to fly back, and then either play. Even if playing at home at 1:00 is tough. But if you got to fly back home and then fly to another. It's a lot on a team.
Difficult.
It is. And the fucking Lions, man. Lions are the Lions.
The Lions.
I think the Vikings are going to take a step back with McCarthy.
So are the Lions. I agree with that.
The Bears are going to take a step forward.
Yep.
The Lions and Vikings are going to take a step
too.
back, and the Packers are going to be right the fuck there.
Yeah.
If the Packers don't win the division, I look at them the same way I'm looking at Washington right now. That the Packers will be a wild card team just making it in.
Yeah. And I'd be okay with that because the last time we won a Super Bowl, we were the 6th seed, wild card, just getting in.
So I would not be surprised if all three of our teams make the playoffs.
I think all of our teams are playoff teams.
They all have playoff talent.
Do.
Yes.
I do. I can
But
see.
my one question mark with all three of our teams is because Ayuk is not healthy.
Yeah, he's not going to play.
He's not going to play that much.
If at all.
Purdy
Purdy
doesn't have enough weapons.
No, he does. Believe it or not, Jawan Jennings.
Jawan Jennings is phenomenal.
Ricky Pearsall is coming up. They just drafted a fucking.
Having McCarthy's going to be having McCaffrey's going to be the key.
Yeah,
he takes a lot of attention,
and not to mention one X factor. Hold on, I'm gonna say the X factor for the Niners.
Garendo?
No, Robert Saleh as the fucking defensive coordinator.
No, that's going to help.
No, I'm just saying he's back.
100%.
Our defense was ferocious, and
so
I'm telling you.
And here's the thing: when he was the head coach of the Jets,
right?
Their defense was solid for years. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
but the thing with San Francisco is it does not matter who you have at running back; they're going to produce. The way that offense is set up, the scheme of that offense, it doesn't matter. Garendo was fucking phenomenal. Mason was fucking phenomenal.
You can say the same about the quarterback though too, because Purdy got him to the Super Bowl, and so did
Garoppolo,
and so did what's his name,
Garcia,
Kaepernick.
Yeah.
No, 3 different quarterbacks in basically the same system,
but they're
gets you to a quarterback.
No, it's not the same. It's not the same system.
They've run the same system They've run that West Coast offense style system forever, dude. They've invented that.
Garoppolo and Purdy were the same system.
Yeah.
Kaepernick was a different system.
Was Jim Harbaugh?
Yeah.
But
with
crazy
Shanahan, right?
Yeah.
Shanahan.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
there you go. Yeah.
Shanahan he's an offensive fucking
Genius.
guru.
Yeah.
Just amazing. But anyway, I think that all three of our teams could make the playoffs. If one of them out of the three aren't going to make it, I'm sorry, it's San Francisco.
It's only because of your division.
Yeah, but I mean,
You have two really good teams in your
gonna
division. I
disagree
think we have
if-
one good
like
team, and
said,
I think
We
Like
have
I
one
said,
really good team.
I think
and one okay.
I think it's the Eagles and it's the Redskins and
nobody else. That's a bit. You're right, Dallas. I mean,
again
yeah,
it depends
I
on
guess.
Dallas' offensive line.
Right.
If they can stay upright and they can keep Prescott from getting sacked and getting hurt,
So what
they're
do
gonna
they
do okay.
They have Pickens and CD.
No,
That's
listen,
good.
I don't even want to waste my breath.
No. I'm
talking
just
about-
saying, like they're looking.
Yeah.
If like he
Yeah.
said.
So let's bring it back into wrestling. We're gonna finish up this episode with. Bring it on, John. Come on, let's hear it.
I just want to ask, Panchito, my friend.
Right.
Give it to me now.
Yeah. What's your fantasy?
Yes. So you're Vincent Kennedy Martinez, and you got the book, Hell in the Cell. You can put anybody in the opening match and anybody in the main event, any title, any stip, any whatever you want.
Well, I gotta say my opening match, and this is such a fantasy, but
I wanna hear it.
I'm gonna go with The Undertaker
All right.
versus Sabu
In
in
the-
a fucking Hell in a
In the
Cell.
opening Hell in the
In the
Cell.
open, just to open it,
That's
fuck up.
that's
fucking-
definitely a fantasy.
to see Sabu in that
And Taker in a Hell in the Cell. That's a
environment.
good idea.
Fucking with it.
Me too.
That's-
Me too. That's a really good one,
That-
dude. I would have never thought of that.
No, it just like
That was nowhere on my radar.
It came up in my mind, and honestly, guys,
Taker
I mean,
Sabu,
I know,
Hell in the Cell.
yeah, as
be
my
badass.
opening. So
Having
maybe my
Taker
main
or
event
Sabu's
might-
entrances back to back too would be pretty fucking cool.
My
dude.
main
Wow.
event might be a little bit deflating to you,
No, that's
but
good.
I want to see.
Wow, I'm with that a lot.
Obviously, we got to put Sean in there.
All right, so Shawn Michaels in a Hell in the Cell
versus, with drum roll, Jeff fucking Hardy.
Jeff Hardy.
Jeff Hardy versus Shawn Michaels
In a Hell in
is
a
my
Cell.
ultimate
All right.
main event fantasy. That will.
Has Jeff Hardy ever been in the Hell in the Cell?
I don't think so. Or was he against CM Punk? Hold on. When he
They had,
won the
they had a
title.
ladder match.
Ladder match.
Or it wasn't a steel cage or anything.
It might have still.
He's
cage
been a
match.
couple cage matches. I don't know if he's ever been in Hell in a Cell.
Yeah,
don't
because
know.
I don't remember him doing crazy.
You know what?
shit
I think he
on-
had one with Randy Orton. I think that was the only one he ever had. Was the Hell in the Cell with Randy Orton.
Two people I don't give a
There you go.
fuck about.
Yeah,
I like
but-
Jeff Hardy a lot. That's a good
But
one.
yeah, no, the opening. So my opening is obviously probably going to overtake the main event, but that's my.
So,
prediction.
good.
No, so Undertaker and Sabu, you
Yeah.
said.
Dude, great
That's,
choice.
bro, I got a fucking quarter chub right now.
Yeah.
I went from 6 to midnight when you
In a
said
Hell in a
that.
Cell, too, would be
In a
good.
Hell in a Cell.
That'd be good.
Yeah, well,
I
yeah,
cannot
that's what I
fucking
thought about.
imagine how that would be.
I know. That's a really
Okay?
good point.
Shawn Michaels and Jeff Hardy, both fucking great. I don't know if that's the right main event,
Yeah, that's fine.
but I think it would be highly entertaining and a good match.
Definitely.
But the Undertaker Sabu, that fucking has
That's a
me-
great-
That
yeah.
really has
Yeah.
me thinking.
Yeah.
That could have been
Yeah.
something fucking. That's a fucking fantasy right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I know. Seriously, dude. I'm in my head thinking of like Jim Ross talking about it as Sabu's coming to the ring and Sabu in the ring waiting for Taker to come out. And them two just, yeah, that'd be fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask a question before we end it. Jeff Hardy has been in a lot of your top fives for things we've done and a lot of things.
Yeah.
Is he up there for you?
Yeah, he's up there.
He's up there?
I mean,
All that means to me is you're stupid.
no, I mean, I'm not saying like top 10, but like he's up there with like
No, but-
charisma and like his abilities.
you gotta think,
and
too.
But the thing is, it's like he does hardcore wrestling, and then he doesn't.
Dude, I'm with you.
The stuff that we've put him to the test about, that we've asked his opinions about, it's gimmick matches.
Yeah, I think he's the king of gimmick matches.
He's fucking great at gimmick matches. If you're gonna go say, hey, what's your fucking fantasy 1-on-1, no stip? It's definitely Jeff Hardy's not gonna be in there.
No,
there's gonna be 100 people before
probably
Jeff
not,
Hardy.
Sure,
not, but
sure.
It's a Hell in a Cell, and
Hell in a
I just
Cell,
would
and-
love him. I would love to see what he can. He does shit with fucking just like, but you're right. It is gimmick, yeah. Like, but that's the whole point.
It's
and
not
then
just
you
gimmick
have,
though. Like his entrance, the energy that comes out. Like I look back to go back to a moment, and we can close it on this. Go back to when the Hardys came back at WrestleMania. What was it, 31 or 32 in the ladder match?
Yep. I remember that one.
That reaction that the crowd gave, dude.
Yeah,
That's like if you encapsulate like why people love wrestling. That return, I think, does it. I think
Goosebumps.
that.
It was a lot of goosebumps.
That edge when he came out of the Rumble. I think those two moments are really good snapshots of why wrestling is on another level of entertainment, because it just does something to you, like you said, goosebumps.
Yep.
Or it makes you tear up, or it makes you feel just something.
Right.
Like when those guys came back, because you didn't expect that. I remember watching it live and being like, oh, wow, the New Day's going to put themselves in. And then I hear the Hardys. I'm like, what? The Hardys? And they come out and they win? Dude.
That was something special.
I'm glad. That's why I wanted to bring that up, because I feel like Jeff Hardy does not get his flowers for... Let's end it on this. If you're going to show somebody who's never watched wrestling something, you're going to show them a cool gimmick match.
It's going to be
Jeff
Jeff Hardy.
Exactly. One of those two guys. Do you want to see Mick Foley get his ass whooped?
Right.
You want to see Jeff Hardy jump off of something crazy? Go through a table or something.
Right.
It's cool.
So,
but
yeah, man.
You're not wrong. With all that being said, I just want to say Happy Canada Day to our friends up north.
Oh, Canada.
We love Canadians.
We do.
I also want to say Happy 4th of July. We love America.
America.
Over everything. America, baby.
America.
I just want to tell everybody here that's listening that history started July 4th, 1776. Anything before that was a mistake.
It was ass.
Okay?
All right, I think that's all we got.
All right.
God bless America.
Yep.
God bless America. God bless Canada.
See y'all next week. We have lots of fun stuff coming up. Some good lit matches coming up. Guys, your faces are going to fucking melt off when you watch the shit we're going to watch. But until next time, brother discussion. Peace.